30 minutes about? Okay. So I'll talk for about 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end of it. Including, yes. I don't know how to do this. What's the, I'm not very technically inclined here, so how do I get the...
To go forward, just press this.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, my name is Odette Laurie, and I've been an entrepreneur since 1993, so about 2 decades. And I started a business from a mere idea. It was a passing fancy, a passing comment to my partner at the time. I just looked over at him and I said, you know, how come there aren't any floor plans for residential real estate agents, but there's floor plans for, you know, new builds, something totally not sexy, not attractive, just a really stupid thing to say. From there, we ended up making it into a multiple 6-figure business within 3 years. It's still in existence 19 years later. My point is that you can create a business out of any idea, out of anything. As long as you have the passion, the drive, the motivation, determination, and people to help you along the way. When we first started that business, it was called PlanMed Enterprises, and then we turned it into Planet Measuring. And what was I going to say? It became such a fabulous business because we had such passion for it. And with passion comes the willingness to really want to surge and move ahead. I sold it about 8 years ago to my partner and embarked on another journey, and the journey is to help other women start and grow businesses. There's a lot of help out there for men and women, but women do businesses for different reasons than men do. I know what it's like to start a business. I know what it's like to keep one alive and kicking. I know how hard it is, especially running a household. And obviously I'm quite particular about the names that I choose for my company. Women on Top is meant to spark some, you know, oomph in people. A little bit about, make you shift in your seat. Why? Because it's all about impact. This particular program is was called Business for Barbies, the Smart Doll's Guide to Attracting Real Clients and Making Real Money. If anyone knows, Barbie is the greatest, you know, success story in America. However, I'm not able to use it because that would be trademark infringement. So, what I've done here is, sorry, I'm leaning forward. Am I able to? Can you hear me if I stand there? Because
You're okay.
Okay. I know what it feels like to sit where you're sitting. I know what it feels like to want to start a business so badly that you can taste it. That you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, but you know you've got this burning desire. And it's easy for me to stand up here and say, okay, well, you know, just do it. And really, that is what you do. You just say, okay, I'm going to do this. And the best way to start is to tell everybody and anybody about your idea, and you touched on that. You want people to laugh at you, because if they're not laughing at you, you're not dreaming big enough. You're not doing it big enough. You don't mean it. And when I started Planet Enterprises with my partner, people laughed at us. They said, you know, you're starting a business for the housing market in a recession. What are you, crazy? That's a dumb idea. It's floor plans. What is floor plan? Like, you know, what does that mean? And I said, you know what? I don't know what it means, but I'm going to make it mean something. And we did. My partner, who is an engineer, developed a measuring board, a measuring system. We secured a lot of research and development funding from the government. We really tapped into all the resources that are available for small business. So as a woman working in an environment like that is typically male-dominated with the engineering side of it, real estate agents are very, you know, it's a tough crowd. And this was all before the internet. This was all about pounding the pavement, yellow pages, presentations, pretty much similar to what I'm doing, cold calling, you know, the old school selling. And nowadays, the online and offline marketing are just really playing a really important role. And okay, I'm off topic here. one of the reasons why I started the business of Women on Top was to help women start businesses, but to understand why they wanted to start a business. Everybody has their unique reason why they want to start a business. This program is about marketing. It's about attracting your ideal client. It's about knowing your why so that you can know who you're marketing to, where they are, where they hang out, how to go about how to attract the clients to get what you want. If you don't know your why, you cannot answer the who, the how, the where, the what. You need to know who you're selling, who your ideal client is, where they hang out. And I'm talking about both online and offline. I talk about client retention. It's a lot easier to keep clients happy than it is to keep finding new ones. You know, what do you say to clients to keep them alive and kicking? Clients are your lifeblood of your business. Sales is the lifeblood of your business. And you want to know how to effectively market that. The third thing is about making money. Making money is crucial in a business, whether you're a female or a male. A lot of females go into business because they just want to get by, or they want to make just enough to supplement the household income, to spend time with their family, and those are great reasons. But ultimately, it is about making money. I have no problem saying that I'm starting Women on Top to teach women how to start and run successful businesses, but I'm also doing it to make money. The more money I make, the more money I can help. The more people I can help. And that's pretty powerful. It's about creating a movement. It's not just about creating a job for yourself. It's about making a difference. And when it comes down to my why, those are my whys. Flexibility in time and location. I can work anywhere in the world for anybody in the world. I have this burning desire to help people. That's my movement, is to help men and women start and create their own movement, start and create their own passions of what they really want to do in their life. You know, I hear a lot of people say, a lot of clients say to me, well, it's not about the money. Well, it absolutely is about the money, and don't be afraid to say that. When I work with a client, I always clear them. I always say to them, you got to get rid of the I already know that and I already do that mentality. If you're sitting here thinking, well, you know, I already know that and I don't have to listen to this part of the conversation or about what you're saying, clear the mind and say, okay, you know what, be open to suggestions of, you know, who knows what new ideas come up. That's what brainstorming or masterminds are all about. It's all about being clear and open to suggestions. I am always open to someone's opinion, brainstorming to say, hey, do you ever think about doing that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe it's not for me right now, but it will be down the future, or sorry, down the path later on. And I almost just kind of file it away. Knowing that you want to have a business is great. Doing it is another thing. A lot of people do not take action for their business. They don't take the right action, let alone any action. I find that a real shame. I have a lot of women that I engage with who have such phenomenal ideas, phenomenal talent, and are just too afraid to tell anybody about it or too afraid to try it. So they don't take the action. And either someone else takes that idea or it goes undone and they go unfulfilled for the rest of their life. Women on Top is about helping you do it the right way the first time. I've made a lot of mistakes over the last 20-some years, and I want to help men and women to not make those same mistakes because they are painful and they are costly. The biggest thing people don't do in business is make excuses to take action. You hear this all the time, don't make excuses, you know, just pull up your bootstraps or whatever those sayings are. I want to encourage you to make excuses to take action every day. The best advice I ever got was a few years ago. You're going to take the step, take it now. Not tomorrow, not the next day. You take it now. And if all you have is 10 minutes, take the 10 minutes. Think of where you will be in 1 year. So that's what I did. If I had 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I would just, you know, do something that would propel myself forward. Had I not done that, I wouldn't be standing here today. We need to make sacrifices. People say, I hear this all the time. I heard it just before I came here. Oh, well, you know, I don't have enough money because, you know, I really, that $500 a month, you know, I got to pay for the house, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. But I really want that business, but I really want to make a difference in my life. Okay, so then put your money where your mouth is. Make the sacrifice. You know, take the money that you would, for instance, maybe on a vacation or dinners or entertainment or whatever, and put it towards your business. The same with your time. I never watch TV. Now that may be a good thing or not, but I just don't, I find it the biggest waste of time for me. If I have an hour to kill, I am going to do something either for my business, for myself, or for my family. And in the idle time is when businesses grow as well. Watching TV and things like that really can stifle the imagination and the creativity. Now, my opinion, however you want to spend your time, but think of all the extra dollars, the extra time, and the extra energy that you're going to have. Another famous saying is, get up an hour earlier every day, it will change the rest of your life. If you're not a big morning person, go to bed an hour later. I understand there's all that work-life balance and all that stuff, but to me, work-life balance is this. You get to do what you want, when you want, and how you want to do it. That is a balance to me. So what if I'm going to be a little bit tired, I'm going to be a little bit broke, I'm going to have that business that I want at the end of it all. Can you watch the time for me and tell me?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, thanks. Oh, baby steps, yes. People think that they have to do leaps and bounds in a business. It is not that. It is baby steps. Two books that a magazine that I read regularly is called Success Magazine. I don't know if anyone has heard of it. Success Magazine is, the editor is Darren Hardy, and he's written a book called The Compound Effect, and it's all about baby steps. Literally, just, it's like interest, you know, keep compounding that time. The 10 minutes a day, even, you know, it's like exercising, you know. Cut a few calories here, work out an extra 10 minutes, you're going to see results at the end of the year, and that's no different than for your business. When someone says to me, well, I just want to, you know, you like an instant success. I said, impossible. I've been working at it for 25 years. That's not instant to me. It's been a lot of hard work. This brings me to the reason for me standing here is to tell you that the why of your business and the why of your life is the most important question that you have. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's what motivates, or that's what should motivate you. That's what motivates me. My why is so strong that it supersedes any life challenge that comes my way. Just tell you a little bit about myself. When I launched Women on Top, it was great. I was, you know, just working at it, making headway, and everything was fantastic. All of a sudden, 2011 hit, the worst year of my life. My personal tragedy is that both my parents fell and broke their hip at different times, and they both passed away within months of each other. And I was there with them when they passed away. Not something that I really anticipated, despite the fact that they were in their 80s. Talk about a life-changing events for me. Not to mention, I moved from Caledon to Mississauga. My kids are teenagers. Gosh, that's just killing me right now. But everything's new. Like I never once said, well, these life challenges, I got to stop my business. What it did was it helped me tap into the resources that I have, personal and professional, and internal resources, because we all have the internal resources. We just need to listen to them. They need to be, when they're yelling at you, you need to listen. So I took 2011, I was very, very glad to close the door on 2011, and I actually did make it somewhat of a monumental thing, New Year's Eve, and if it wasn't for my adversities last year, I wouldn't be where I am today. My why is different today than it was a year ago. My why is that much more passionate. It is that more interesting and exciting for myself and for my clients, because I am now going to be a woman who's going to make a difference in the world, not just in my community. That's huge. I didn't have that in 2010. You want to do it like your life depends on it. I know that sounds silly, but it's not. If you want that business that badly, you have to do it like your life depends on it. Like you have like a gun to your head. And I know that might be harsh or might freak people out, but it's true. That's what kept my business going in 2011. I had every reason to say, I'm not doing this anymore. But the fear of getting a job was just way too great for me. And I have been fired more times than I can say. Really, I make a really bad employee. I do. When you need to hold yourself accountable, you paste your reasons why on your fridge, on your bedside table, anywhere. It's all that positive affirmations. I mean, it is true, they work. So I have my why written all over the place. And whenever I get into a funk, which we all do, I look at my why and go, okay, you know what, enough. Stop being a suck. Let's, you got a business to run. You got people that count on you. And I'm also, my other why is for my children. I have 2 daughters, 12 and 14. What kind of role model would be if I gave up? I don't think I'd be a very good role model because I don't want them to give up. I think I touched on this. If your dream isn't big enough, if people don't laugh at you when you tell them what your dream is, you're not dreaming big enough. When I told people about Women on Top, they're like, yeah, okay. What do you know about, being a coach? What do you know about doing that? Like, I can't believe people say that kind of stuff to people, Or they laugh or they snicker or they talk behind your back. And, and that is a lot of reasons why people don't succeed, because they're too afraid of being judged. They're too afraid of not looking good in the eyes of other people. People buy for emotional reasons. They buy because they like you. They don't buy because they don't like you. It's not necessarily what they need. They buy because they're trying to fill a gap. I'm running out of time here. One thing that I did want to say was selling. We all hate it. We all have to do it. No matter what you're doing in life, whether you're getting your kid to eat your vegetables or whether you're trying to convince yourself you got to go to the gym, you're selling something. You're convincing someone to do something. Even if you're telling them about a movie, how great it was, you're selling. People are so afraid of that word selling. The biggest sales pitch is selling you to you. If you can't sell yourself to you, how can you expect other people to want to buy from you? It's the same thing with money. If you won't put money in your business, how do you expect anyone else to put money in your business? It just doesn't happen. The greatest thing for me to take my business to the next level, with the first business as well as this one, was I took the word selling and I changed it to helping. Once I did that, I thought, I'm actually not selling to people, I'm helping people. I'm helping women be who they want to be in life, who they want to be in their business. That was huge for me. I want you to try that on. Think about that. If you have businesses, if you have a business or if you're thinking of one, but you're too afraid to move forward because you're going to have to sell, think about helping them. It's very powerful. The second thing is we all have conversations on a daily basis. These conversations are about selling or helping people. So what you want to do is you want to take the concept of having conversations with people, combine that with the concept of helping, not selling, and you've got a win-win situation here for your business as well as your life. If you do not know how to sell, you're going to have a tougher time than the person that does. I think I'm kind of lucky. When I first had Planet Enterprises, it was about cold calling and yellow pages and pounding the pavement, so I really had a good understanding of what it was like to sell. This time around for Women on Top, I was really afraid to do this online stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't like it. It's not something I was passionate about. Now I can't get off the thing. You combine the two, the online and offline sales efforts, and you've got an amazing opportunity. The world is now your entire client base. You can sell to anyone in the world, whether it's a product or a service. There's no limit. And if you think of that, you're just like, wow, a lot of people think, well, where am I going to get my customers, or who's going to buy from me? Well, you know, if someone doesn't buy from you here, try halfway around the world. It's going to work. I just want to have a show of hands here. Who knows why they want to be in business, or who has a business right now? So, here of you. What about the other half of you? Are there people here who want to start a business? Is that where you're at? You have an idea, but you're just, raise your hand. I want to, like, don't be afraid. You want to start a business, okay? Well, I'm probably nearing the end of my 30 minutes. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Man in the pink. You gotta love a man that can wear pink.
Greg is a regular here, but
Is
he's suiting the occasion today.
There was one word that bothered me because I think that it's too much of an absolute, and that was the word sacrifice. I thought that I understand what you mean by sacrifice, but I think that a better word was risk. That be prepared to take a risk. Sacrifice says almost that you've got to give something away that hurts. That may be true, but before you do that, you've got to be prepared to take the risk at having to do that. You don't want to just give it away. You want to understand the risk that you're getting yourself involved in. Be prepared to make the sacrifice, but understand that you don't have to do it. But you've got to risk having to do that. And I think that's very important because it turns from being trying to be a martyr into trying to be a business person. So that's.
I value your opinion. I disagree. But sacrifice, I mean, whatever your definition of risk or sacrifice, a sacrifice is, let's do a financial sacrifice. You're used to going on vacation, you know, twice a year to wherever and spending $5 grand into a resort. You spend $5,000 a pop with your family, right? So there's $10,000. Well, that's $10,000 that you have to give up if you don't have any other financial means. That's a sacrifice. That's one heck of a sacrifice to a lot of people. A sacrifice to some people is giving up an hour of TV of their downtime. To me, sacrifice at the very beginning was sacrificing my weekends for business development. But, you know, I guess everyone has their definition. Any other comments?
Well, it was interesting what you said a little bit earlier regarding the work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's true that when you start your business, I guess one of the long-term vision is to say, okay, yes, I'm going to be able to build as much wealth as I can and then be able to enjoy the lifestyle that I want. And it's great, and I know that personally that's what I want to achieve in 10 years. But right now I have to admit that, yes, I do work maybe close to, 10, 12 hours a day, but I'm having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because 3 years ago I had that very work office, you know, lifestyle 9 to 5, but now working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's great because at least you know exactly, hey, I'm working, but I'm getting paid exactly for what I'm doing.
Is this your own business?
I'm a financial consultant, so I am building my own practice. Those are my clients, and it's great.
Well, if you're happy, that's what it comes down to. But
exactly.
In something like that, you want to make sure that you're not working. You're not working too hard. You're working smart. You want to make sure that you're. I mean, that's a lot of hours to be doing on a regular basis. You could burn out, but you just want to make sure that you're doing the right things at the right time, so that you're building it.
My question was about how much time you spent in the beginning between business development and actually seeing if your product was marketable.
Which, the first business that I had?
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah. Could you ask the question again, please?
So in the beginning, like you said, that the first business for the floor plans, it was just an idea that you came up with. How much time in the beginning did you spend on business development, hitting the yellow pages and cold calling and between?
Well, the way you want to divide up your time in business, and I actually didn't know that at the time, but I was actually doing it. There's business development, learning about the business. For instance, teleseminars on how to sell, how to market, and all that kind of stuff. Marketing, revenue-generating activities, which, by the way, a little tidbit, if you want to build a business, start with a revenue-generating activity first thing in the morning before you do anything else. That's what's going to propel you forward. It's when you leave it to the end of the day that it doesn't get done. That's called eat the ugly frog first. It's a phrase coined by Brian Tracy. You take the thing that you do not want to do and you do it first thing in the morning. And that's one of the things that we did. And then you talk about, and then there was client work. So you divide your day or your week or your month into those 3 sections. And depending where you are in your business determines which is the greater bulk of it. And it's going to have ebbs and flows. When I first started Planet, measuring our Planet Enterprises, we ended up, our competition trademarked our name for us, because then they asked us if we would pay $5,000 to get our name back, and we just said no, and was able to use that to our advantage for marketing. Talk about lessons learned. The first thing we did was hire, we went and joined a program, an entrepreneur program, on how to do it, because I didn't have a clue. I'd never had a business before. I had a great idea, but what do I know about business development? And we worked with a team of coaches who worked on what you need to do to develop your business. Where's your market? What are your means? So you've got the yellow pages, you've got the phone, you've got referrals and all that kind of stuff. From there we did marketing, and things were different. It was all about print. I don't have any brochures now, which seems really weird to me that I don't have something with me. And then it was all client work on top of that. So it was, we would probably, I don't know if I'm answering your question probably, but we worked about 12 to 14 hours a day, but I was also, 25. And there's a huge difference when you're that young. One more second. And then we just worked it from there. I am a bit of a self-proclaimed workaholic. That is an area that I need to work on, but it was, it was fun.
Hi, my name is Tony Thomas, Odette, and my question is about the why, getting to the why.
Mm-hmm.
Because did you undergo a process to get to what your bottom line why is? Because where you started out, your why in the beginning totally changed.
Yeah.
And can you speak a little bit more about that process, like that more of an internal process?
Well, what happened was I had a contract position with the region of Peel. I was a social worker, and nothing was just sitting right with me. And it was a year long, and every year I would renew it. And one of the avenues was, okay, what do I want to do with my life? I don't want to be an employee. Do I want to be a counselor? Do I want to be a coach? So I was laid off, and honest to goodness, from 5 o'clock until 5:30, I thought, this is fantastic. I get to do what I want. I get to work where I want and when I want. And then I realized that was my why. That was the driving force. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea, but I know that I need flexibility in time and location. I want to live in Florida in the wintertime and in Collingwood in the summertime. That was my why. And then I thought, okay, now what can I do to make that happen? And I hired a coach to brainstorm with me. It was called the $200 cup of coffee. And all we did was we bantered back and forth, and we teased out of me what it is that I wanted to do. And from that, I developed my why into, well, I have this burning desire to help women. I know how hard it is to start a business. It's really painful. And it's painful in a different way for women because we have children in households. And yes, men have that, but it's not the same. And my why evolved from there. And I think my why maybe had a little bit of ego-driven in 2009, 2010. It's very humbling when you all of a sudden become an orphan. And it's like, even though I'm 45 years old and not having parents, you think, oh, well, you're 45. It's like the roots have been taken out from underneath you. And my why is totally different now. My why is about creating a movement for men and women, but mainly women, to really grasp hold of what is it that they want to do with their life and make it happen. Because I can do it. If I did it, and I did it in whatever happened to me last year, not to mention the other gazillion things. I mean, I've been married, I've been divorced, and all that kind of stuff. That's my why. Thanks. Any other questions? Just to let you know, if I may, what I would like to do is, when I speak, I offer people the opportunity to come and talk to me about how it is that I can help you, and I do offer free consultations to see if you have an idea and you want to get it out on paper. You want to have that safe zone because maybe you're just too afraid to talk it over with your friends or family or anybody. That's an offer to everybody here, okay? Thanks very much.